Hi, in this video this series of videos we're going to be working through a GCSE paper. Please do stop the video, have a go at each of the questions, then compare your solutions. Each of the videos is going to be about 20-30 minutes or so. It should give you about an hour's worth of fairly focused revision. If you're not sure about anything, always add a comment. I'll come back to you and I look forward to seeing you inside the video.
Hi, in this particular video we're going to work through the June 2020 series for Edexcel, and it's the paper 1 non-calculator for the higher tier exams. So please do stop the video, have a go at each of these questions and then compare your solutions. So we'll go right ahead with question number 1, which is the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence are that. Write down an expression in terms of n for the nth term. This is a really popular GCSE question. All we do is we need two things. We need what's called the common difference, and if we look at the series, it's going to be a difference of positive 3 each time. So in other words, all we're doing is we're adding 3 to each of these numbers. The other thing that we need is what's called the 0 term, which is where the sequence actually starts from. And the 0 term in this particular case will be -2. Remember that 1 is the first term and 4 is the second term. So the 0 term is going to be -2, and when we put that together, we write it as the nth term is going to equal to 3n minus 2, and that would be the answer to the first question for 2 marks. Okay, let's move on then to question number 2, which is fairly standard multiplication of mixed numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert them to improper fractions, and that's going to be 7 over 3 multiplied by 15 over 4. Now I could, if I wanted to, multiply 7 by 15 and then 3 by 4 and divide top and bottom. In this particular case, what I've spotted is the 3 and the 15 I can actually reduce by dividing through by 3, so that just makes my calculation a little bit easier that I've done the reduction beforehand. That's going to give me 35 over 4, and 4's into 35 is going to be 8 4s are 32, and then I've got 3 left over, so the answer would be 8 3/4, which we're given as part of the show that question. Okay, let's move on then to question number 3. If you're not sure about how I did that calculation, please do let me know in the comments, and I do have some additional questions that you can have a go at. Okay, so the diagram shows 4 graphs, and we're asked to work out which graph is these ones. Well, probably the easiest way is to start with the ones that you know. So I happen to know this particular one is going to be graph C because it's this one over here. Okay, now I know that's y equals x cubed. I also know that D, which is the second one, is y equals x squared. So that's going to be this one underneath. That's going to be D. So that leaves us then with the 2 remaining graphs. Now, B is going to be a negative version of C. So hopefully you can see this is a positive x cubed, this is a negative x cubed. So actually from there I know then that the reciprocal graph is going to be graph number A, which is going to be 1 over x. So I'll just write these into here, and what I've got is the first one will be B and then the last one will be A. So sometimes with these types of questions, they are only 2 marks, but it is worthwhile kind of just being aware of them. They do crop up a little bit on GCSE type papers. Okay, let's move on then to question number 4, and it says 2 of these triangles are congruent, which basically means that they are the same as each other. And then it says write down the letters of these 2 triangles. Well, a little bit trickier, but basically I've got an inkling that because I know that 80 is opposite 10, what I need to do is figure out which of the other triangles is opposite to 10 with 80 degrees. Now it won't be triangle B because that's actually 45 degrees, and it won't be triangle C, that's actually 55 degrees. So it leaves me with triangle A. I'm guessing that if I do 55 plus 45, what am I actually going to get with that? Well, I'm going to get 5, 10, or they're 100, so therefore this must be 80 degrees, which is opposite 10. So therefore in this particular question, the two triangles that are congruent to each other is going to be triangle A and triangle D. So usually with these types of questions, do look for the clues. Don't spend too long working out angles and that sort of stuff. Okay, let's move on then to number 5. Sean pays £10 for 24 chocolate bars, and he sells all 24 chocolate bars for 50p each. So what has he sold them for? He's sold them for actually for £12. And then it says work out Sean's percentage profit. Well, percentage profit is going to be equal to the difference divided by the original multiplied by 100. Well, the difference between what he bought it for and what he sold it for is going to be £2. The original price is going to be £10 multiplied by 100. Okay, that's 200 divided by 10, which is going to be 20%. So Sean makes a very healthy 20% profit on selling his chocolate bars. Okay, hopefully that's all right. If you're not sure, again, with these fairly popular questions, do let me know, and I do have some other playlists that you can have a look at. Okay, let's move on then to question number C, and it says this is a triangle. Work out the size of angle EAB, which is actually this one here, which I'm just going to call X. Well, there's a couple of things that we need to do here. Importantly, it says give a reason for each stage of your working. Okay, well, the first thing that I've spotted is that this angle, which is angle AEB, is actually 63 degrees. Now that's because it's corresponding to this angle at the bottom here. So I'm going to have to write these out. Forgive me of my writing, but I'm just going to put angle AEB is corresponding. Okay, and very typically with these there are corresponding or alternate angles to be found. So angle EDC, and therefore that equals 63 degrees. Okay, and what else have I got? Well, I also know then that angle ABE, which is this angle here, must be 32 degrees. Now the reason being is that this line is a straight line along here. So again, I'm going to have to work that out. All right. Okay, so I can put then that angle ABE is equal to 180 degrees minus 142 degrees, which is 32 degrees. And I can put as straight line equals 180 degrees. So we've now got the components to actually work out our value of x, which is, as we're being asked to do, EAB, because angles in a triangle, which is ABE, add up to 180 degrees. So if I just put triangle ABE adds to 180 degrees, therefore angle EAB, which is what we're being asked to find out, is going to be equal to 180 minus 63 minus 32, which is going to be 85 degrees, and that would be the answer to that particular question. Now you might do things slightly differently or in a slightly different order, but provided you get your reasoning in there, you should be absolutely fine. Okay, let's move on then to question number 7, and this one is a stem and leaf diagram, which has had a little bit of a renaissance recently. Starting to see these a little bit more often with GCSE papers. Basically, it's been asked us to compare the distribution of the heights of girls with the distribution of the heights of boys. Okay, so it's going to be okay, but again a little bit of writing. But what I would do is I would say the lowest boy is 158 and the tallest boy is going to be 182, so therefore that will give us the range for the boys. So if I look at the boys, range is going to be equal to 24, which is the difference between 182 take away 158. Okay, the girls' range is going to equal 20, and that's actually given to us at the top there, that the greatest height for the girls is 170 and the least height for the girls is 150. Okay, so therefore the boys have a greater range, and that would be absolutely fine. You might want to actually show your working for these, and that's perfectly fine as well. It is a 3-mark question, so please do add as much as you can. Okay, so the next little bit is going to be the median value. So if we look at the stem and leaf diagram for the boys, I need the middle value for the boys. Now I happen to know that there's 15 of them. Okay, so therefore the median value is going to be equal to 1 plus 15 divided by 2, which is going to give me then the 8th value. Okay, so if I work across, I've got the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So the 8th is going to be 168. Okay, so the boys' median is equal to 168. So the girls' median, okay, and that's actually given to us on the chart at the very top, which is 165, which is this one here. So the girls' median is 165. So I would say that on average the boys are taller median. Okay, and that would be perfectly fine for those types of observations. You might want to just add a little bit more detail, but essentially that's what they're looking for with this particular question. Okay, hopefully that's all right for you. Let's move on then to question number 8. Diagram shows a prism placed on a horizontal floor. So what we're being asked to do is work out the force exerted by the prism on the floor, and it very helpfully gives us the formula right at the very top here. So let's have a look at what we've got. Well, we know the pressure is 75 because we're being told that. We are going to work out the force. We need to work out the area. Now we know the volume of the prism is 18 meters cubed, and we know the height is 3 meters cubed. So therefore we can say that volume equals area times height. Okay, well the volume is going to be 18, the area is what we're looking for, the height is 3, so therefore the area must equal to 6 meters squared. Okay, so then we can just simply apply this into the formula. So we've got pressure, and I'll rewrite it again just because it makes it a little bit easier on the screen. So I've got pressure is force over area, I've got 75, and the force is going to be what we're looking for. The area, however, is going to be 6, so I've got 6 times 75, which is going to be 450. And it's actually newtons is the measurement or the unit that we use for force, so it's going to be, in this particular question, 450 newtons, and that would be the answer to question number 8. Okay, so we're going to move on a little bit then to standard form type questions, which is question number 9. Relatively straightforward. You just need to really rewrite them all in standard form. Now the first one is done for you. Remember, standard form has a single digit before the decimal point. So the problem with number 2 is it doesn't. So it should be 6.72 multiplied by, now the point is coming back one move or one jump, so therefore it's going to be 10 to the power of minus 3, not minus 4. It's moving back again. Okay, so the next one is going to be 6.72 multiplied by, in this case now, 10 to the power of 6. Okay, and then finally I've got 6.72 times 10 to the power of minus 4. So looking at all of these then, I can say, well actually that must be the smallest. The second biggest would be the one over here in the second place, and then the third would be this one, and then the fourth would be this one. Okay, now remember with these they do anticipate that you'll write them back in their original format rather than in the converted format that you've just done. So 0.000672 is the smallest number. The next biggest number is 67.2 multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 4. The next one is going to be 6.72 times 10 to the power of 5. And then the final one will be 672 multiplied by 10 to the power of 4. And that would be the answer to question number 9. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll complete at the end of the next question, which is question number 10, which is a ratio question. Just a little bit trickier to get your mind around these sorts of questions, but basically what we're saying is if we write it in ratio form of A to B, that would be 2 to 5. Okay, and same with B to C. If we write that in ratio form, it would be 3 to 4. Okay, so the problem is I've got a value of B of 5 and a value of B of 3, so what I'm going to do is make them both the same by multiplying this ratio by 3 and this ratio by 5. Okay, when I do that, what I get is 6 to 15, and then in B to C I get 15 again, which is really what I'm looking for, to 20. So now I've got my values of B as exactly the same. I can write the ratio of A to B to C to be 6 to 15 to 20. Okay, hopefully that's okay for you. We've completed now to question number 10, and we'll start in the next video from question number 11 onwards. And I look forward to seeing you then.